productivity of your team. So this is what they had to say about neural pathways and emotions. They said neural pathways get really interesting when it comes to more complex things like emotions tied to thoughts. So if, for example, the first time you encountered an apple, it was really scary to you, a neural pathway forms that links apples to fear. Apples with fear. And if for whatever silly reason you keep having a fear response to apples over and over again, you might grow up to be afraid of apples. Imagine that. And it may seem silly, but it's definitely real. So silly as that example may sound, is exactly how it works. So if a young child grows up afraid of a dominant male figure, for example, clowns, they might have a fear response to all males, even as an adult. So if you grow up believing that you're bad with numbers, guess what? You'll do bad with math simply because the neural pathway your brain associates with math is a negative one. Okay? That's how neural pathways can affect the behavior and habits that can make or break us as people. So neural pathways can form negative associations or they can form positive associations. But the negative associations can have a bad influence on how you behave and vice versa. The positive can have a good influence on how you behave. So here's another example. The first time you take a geography test, you fail it. Therefore, you may for the rest of your life believe that you are bad at geography unless you change that thought pattern with a win. So the Bible tells us in Proverbs 23:7, for as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Romans 12:2 tells us, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Proverbs 4:23 says, keep your heart with all vigilance, for from it flows the springs of life. Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. So it's evident to me that God intended for these neural pathways to do what God intended for it to do was to set us up for greatness and not for defeat. Not to be used against us in a form of negativity, but actually to set us up for greatness. Because what you process in your mind, what you create in your mind, those patterns that you create with your thinking and understanding,